Hello, I'm Richard Swan, and I'm sorry that I could not be with you today. This video captured from my home just south of Margaret's is going to have to do for now. I want to start by saying a massive thank you to Paddy and Chris for bringing this important work to the 2015 WA Trails and Outdoors Conference. It's been a real pleasure to work with them over the past 3 years to bring deep ecology to the Year 11 class of Perth Waldorf School, and to see the passion for nature emerge in the students that we've had the privilege to work with. Every year has been so unique and special, and the Walpole excursion has been a real highlight for Diane and myself over the last 3 years, and I know for Paddy and Chris too, and we're so excited to be able to share this work with you. So the part that I'd like to focus on is Nature Connect. This is an education program 3 years in the making, a journey of collaboration with many amazing people, and of course the students of Perth Waldorf School. Nature Connect is now ready to be shared more widely, and I encourage you to think about how this progressive program can complement your curriculum. So before I go on into what Nature Connect is, I'd like to briefly address why deep ecology is such an important thing for us all to be working with in this critical stage of the evolution of life on this planet. I think you'd all agree that if we stop and focus on it, we cannot deny that we're living in an insane world. With all the economic, social, and environmental problems that are facing the human race at a local and global level, it is easy and natural for us to play ostrich with our heads in the sand. In fact, the only way that we can be sane in this insane world is to repress the emotions of sadness, guilt, and anger that naturally emerge when we bring ourselves into feeling and connection with the real picture of what is going on around us. We're living in walled boxes, running on the work, eat, sleep treadmill of our modern life, where consumption of stuff is our response to an emotionally and spiritually empty world. A world which is currently in a period of mass extinction, with the species extinction rate at a level not seen since the dinosaurs went extinct 65 million years ago. This is one of the symptoms of a world in crisis, where humans have become so detached from the natural world that we're living in the delusion that it's all going to be okay. Or maybe even worse, that we don't deserve to live on this planet anyway. Because more and more of us are waking up to the fact that the human species is standing on the edge of extinction themselves, ourselves. If you look into the history of the collapse of civilizations around the world, the number one reason that civilizations fail is the loss of soil fertility. Right now, we are currently losing 75 billion tons of topsoil every year. That is 1% of our total topsoil every year. This is a symptom of a system in crisis and is due to deforestation, overgrazing, and the chemical farming practices pushed by the greed of multinational corporations who pretend they're going to feed the world with their Terminator genes and destructive pesticides. Yes, all of this terrifying stuff going on, and yet we go on living our lives, business as usual, wondering what this all means, and escaping from the pain through television, Facebook, eating stuff, drinking stuff, and buying stuff. The problem is that we just can't cut ourselves off from these negative emotions. When we repress the negative emotions, we can't help but repress the positive ones. So we end up living in an emotional flatline, waiting for something to happen to change our circumstances. Yet all of these are human-made problems, and if there is one thing we can be sure of, human-made solutions are possible right now if we can wake up to the power within us. The capacity of the human being is staggering. We just proved the existence of a particle 1/billionth the size of an atom, the Higgs boson, found in the Large Hadron Collider in CERN. You can't tell me that we can't change the way we drive tractors. All that lies between us and a better future is the personal will to change. So where does deep ecology sit within all of this? Deep ecology is a philosophical and experiential response to this crisis. The practices of deep ecology seek to re-establish the deep emotional connection between ourselves and the natural world, to open us to our love to open us to our natural love for nature, and in so doing immobilize our collective will to live in harmony with nature as our home. And beyond this, deep ecology seeks to reestablish the interconnected loving kindness between each other and within ourselves. Nature is a wonderful teacher and a playground in which we can all explore the ultimate questions, such as, who am I and why am I here? Each of us has a unique and special role to play on this earth. This is in fact our sole purpose, and deep ecology can play a pivotal role in supporting people to move through the layers of gunk that fog our being to an inner belief that I'm here for a reason and that nature is my home. This is a fundamental realization for anyone wanting to achieve self-actualization, the highest order of Maslow's hierarchy of learning. So how does deep ecology work? As facilitators, we seek to create a safe space of non-judgment and courageous self-expression within the setting of nature's majesty. We support participants to work through the 4 stages of the work that reconnects, developed by Joanna Macy and shared around the world with transformational effects. So the first stage is coming from gratitude. In this stage, we provide space for participants to feel deep gratitude for those things that we normally take for granted. By coming to realize that nature is our home, we open ourselves to our love for the earth and for all the beings that call her home. Deep gratitude creates an important foundation for the work to come. The second stage is called feeling the pain of the earth. We acknowledge that the earth and all her inhabitants, including humans, are suffering at some level. We recognize that in order to be sane in what often seems to be an insane world, we need to repress negative emotions such as anxiety, frustration, guilt, and sadness. In this stage of the work, we create a safe space in which to share some of our repressed emotions, and we come to realize that we're all experiencing the same pain, and that together we can release and heal these shared emotions, these shared traumas. The third stage is seeing the world with new eyes. This is an experiential approach to discovering a world of energetic interconnection. This stage of the work opens us up into a new way of seeing ourselves as a deeply connected participant in the wonder of life. The students love this part of the work because it opens them up to new insights about themselves and their relationship with everything outside of themselves. The fourth stage is going forth and supports participants to set intentions for taking these new insights back into their daily lives and into their emerging future. These are the 4 stages of the work that reconnects. This work, combined with the healing powers of nature, allow young people to process some of the pain that they naturally carry as being a part of this suffering world, and to emerge with a fresh perspective of authentic interconnection and meaning, empowered to take responsibility to create a life of meaning and purpose in service of self, our human community, and the natural world. For this is indeed the path to happiness, coming to know who I am and what I'm here to do, and sharing that in loving kindness and in abundance. Of course, this is always a beginning, and the road to soul purpose and self-actualization is long. However, I believe that it is our obligation as educators to give our students exposure to these insights so that they can make a conscious choice about whether they want to be a cog in the wheel of a business-as-usual world, or to assume their rightful place as custodians of all life on this planet and step up to serve as a part of the great turning in which human beings become a benevolent rather than destructive force on this planet. So at this point, you'll be thinking one of 2 things. Either, whoa, that's way too much for me and my students to handle, which is totally understandable. Or you may be thinking, wow, how can I find out more about this? And how can I bring this work into our school's outdoor education program? If you fall into the second thumbs up category, then I suggest you start by going and having a look at the Nature Connect website at www.natureconnect.guru. That's .guru, where you'll find my contact details, a link to this video, and information about deep ecology and the Nature Connect program. I am optimistic that together we can create a bridge into a better world. And I look forward to working with you and your students to continue opening ourselves up to the beauty of the natural world and to the sacred within ourselves. Thank you.